All right, gentlemen. So, every man has that voice in his head. Once you make the money, once you get the success, once you get the girl, once you achieve more, that's when you're going to finally feel like you made it. But what if that's the biggest lie that we've ever been sold? And what if the real reason that men feel stuck is that they've been chasing the wrong things, external validation? You know the score. Today, we've got a deep dive with two legends in masculinity who've lived both sides of a journey and are here to share their wisdom. We've got Coach D, world class mentor on masculine embodiment and fulfillment, and Ralph Anthony, a man who's rode the highs and lows, made and lost millions, only to realize the real battle wasn't about money, it was an inner journey. So we're not holding back today. If you've ever felt like you should be further in life, or you should be richer, or more successful, or more respected, this episode is for you guys. So, my first question as I bring these guys in is guys, what do you think? Why do so many men tie their self worth to external success? Let's start with you, Ralph. What you got for us?
First of all, lovely intro, Ravi. Nice one. Thank you for that. That was nice and swift and descriptive enough. Why do so many men tie their success to external validation? I'm going to talk about it from the modern perspective. I really think social media has fucked the world up mentally. I think it's brought a level of wealth to all of us, fair enough, and it's given us a chance to. The best thing about social media, I say, is it's given everyone a voice. The worst thing about social media is that it's given everyone a voice. Um, And so with that comes, awful load of fake bullshit and people just deceiving us. And it's like a woman wears makeup to deceive you, to show you that she looks a certain way. And then you wake up in the morning and she looks completely different. Social media is the same thing. The whole idea is to deceive you, to make you look a certain way. But really, behind closed doors, bang, all the makeup's off. You're like, whoa, what the fuck just happened there? So you don't see the bad side, you don't see the negative side. So especially in today's world, I'm not going to talk about the dawn of time and the birth of man and why we had to seek external validation then, because that wasn't really around, and this is the time that I live in. So I would say it's the com competitive nature and this madly competitive new world that we live in, and the exposure that we have as well to everyone on the planet. I mean, but back in the day, it was Ravi would meet his girl in the village. There wasn't that many tall, handsome men around, so she picked him. There weren't many sweet, feminine girls. Well, there probably was actually, but he just found her. They were in love and they stuck together. Now you're exposed to the whole world. So now you're like, oh, I have to be a peacock to everyone. I have to flutter my beautiful feathers to the whole world in order to capture something. Because actually, the way this modern world works, and I know it because I meet thousands of women, is that they're like, oh, yeah, cool, you can take my number, but actually, do you have Instagram? And straight away, she asks if I have Instagram. Why is she asking if I have Instagram? So she can filter me, so she can check me out, so she can find out, do I have social status? Who am I? Am I a serial killer? Girls are always worried about you being a potential serial killer. So the first thing people ask you is, what's your Instagram? That's now your social CV. So we care about our external validation because we are being judged constantly every second of the day via our social channels. Now, if you choose not to play the game and turn off social media, then you're completely out and you're out of the matrix and you're living in your own little world somewhere in the fucking little village over here in Romania, if you like. But people like me, Ravi and Coach D are choosing to play the game. We're part of society. We're not choosing to completely detach. I'm not going to turn into Buddha or Sadhguru anytime too soon. Big up Sadhguru. I was listening to him this morning. But I'm not going to completely detach from society. I want to understand it as well as I can. And I think I'm an expert when it comes to male and female psychology. And that's the reason why external validation is so important. Literally because we live in this new world where the big tech geeks have completely trapped us into their own bubble. And so we can't escape this concept of ex- what is your social media? What is your online status? Let me see, let me judge you. Who are you? You're constantly being judged by who are you? And then you are compared to everything else they've ever seen.
And this is from the perspective of a man who successfully navigated the market and has got insight and information to give to people that is practical. Even in the complexity of today's world, men can still win. Yes, it's a journey, but there is a way to navigate this in a healthy and aligned way that benefits not only all of us as men, but our future wives, our children, our society and civilization at large. And Coach D, I know you've got a lot to say on this from having worked with countless men. Most of your men are based over there in New York, and you work with a range of higher end professionals who are seeking their quality dating life to really feel satisfaction in their dating life. So, question for you. Now you've worked with countless men, what's the pattern that you see in guys who chased success, but sometimes have a void inside and will come to you highlighting that they feel they've never really made it?
All right. First off, let me say, Ralph, goddamn, brother, you got away with words. I could listen to you. I could literally listen to your ass all day. Powerful
Thank
speaker
you.
right here. We got a powerful,
That's what's
powerful
up.
speaker
That's
right
what's
here.
up. No
Cheers,
doubt.
All
bro.
right. So anyway, yeah, as I've been in the coaching scene and I further developed into masculinity, what I noticed with a lot of men, a lot of these men are actually high, well professional earners that make anywhere between 150 to 250. Basically,
Mhm.
let's just say over 200K, and they've been sold a blue pill lie. Daddy and mommy tell me get the good job, be well behaved, hit the gym, kiss ass, never fight back.
Mhm.
Basically, la 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 fairy tale rainbow bullshit. And they will come meet me and they'll be broken. They would literally argue with me, be like, "Oh yeah, I know that you're a coach, but I make this amount of money and I look a certain way. This is my notch count." And I would tell every single client, your notch count does not mean shit. Just because you can bang a bunch of girls does not mean that you have respect as a man.
Mm,
And I would challenge every single one. I would have literally have boot camps in like Soho, Manhattan. Handsome, handsome Chads, man. Handsome 6 foot Chads. And they would literally go up to the girls, so weak, so soft. Hey, hi, you cute. How are you? I like your style. And the conversation would literally go nowhere. And then I would come in strong, determined. Hey, I saw you right now. What's your name? Come talk to me. Take her by the hand, move her to the side, and talk right in front of the student. And they would literally question me like, "How the hell did you do that? What kind of magic or sorcery did you do?" I said, "Bro, it's core masculinity.
mm,
Mm.
You men need to understand that after like coaching hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of men, this delusion of like just because I have this job, this status, this building. And as my brother Ralph said, we became a toxified society based off tangible assets is your value as a man, whereas the true value of the man is your internal asset, your core, your ability
Mhm.
to have respect, your ability to have boundaries, your ability to walk away, your ability to call out bullshit, your ability to say, like, I don't care how hard you are. You're gonna respect me. Otherwise, let's end this conversation. I
mm.
had so many guys that would tell me they'll go on multiple high dinner dates that will live in like luxury buildings. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Why are you leading? If you're leading with your wallet, expect to get
Mhm.
cucked.
Mhm.
So I know it's like it's pretty funny. And then they'll get upset at me because then they'll try to make excuses. Well, I can't be like you. You're a little bit ghetto, or you have like a masculine rough face. You got a beard. You got tattoos. I'm like, are you pulling all this shit out your ass? I was like, dude.
Excuses, bro.
Go there and be a man. Go there and be a man. And that's how I was starting to build my repertoire. It was like meet like this crazy guy that would tell you for like what it is. And unfortunately, we live in a world today where masculinity is shamed on. It's toxic. It's ostracized.
Mm,
Yeah.
So now, like, we live in a world where there's war between men and war between women. The war between men, men have become women. The war between women, women have become men.
Hmm.
So the sexes are now confused and women just don't know how to lead. So now they're being masculine. Like, you don't know the stuff I see in New York, the disrespect of how soft these guys are.
mm,
Oh.
And then they would like literally like call me and thank me and crying, saying like, bro, you woke me up. Like I realized like core masculinity is the key. I'm like, that is the gift that you were giving as a man. And when we lived, as my brother Ralph said, in this like compelling toxic world where your social media is your resume, you could be an amazing guy. But if your IG is like ass, and if
Yeah.
you don't have the backbone to tell her like Because I had that like a lot back in the day, like, oh, like I rock with you, you have a cool vibe, but what's your IG?
Hmm.
The amount of times, literally, I would have to say like, can you be an adult and not live in the Matrix? Because I know you need to have this conversation right now. Some will say
Hmm.
no, some will say yes, but I live and I die by my standards. I'd rather walk away as a man with my core intact, building myself and my pursuit of my mission, otherwise to bend over for someone. And this is how I tell men, this is how you create the ultimate attraction as a man, which is your core, your gift. I tell every single guy, I'm like, dude, I know guys who are broke, making 30, 40K, while you're making your 200K little tech job, going to Equinox gym, spending all this money to look pretty, and you're
Hmm.
ballsless. And I can bring one of my friends that live in, it's true, dude, it's funny. I could bring one
Hmm.
of my friends in the hood that probably have like an accent, and he'll just like take whatever girl you want from you. Why? Because he's stimulating emotions. You're not stimulating emotions.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
main thing I want to say again for my closing statement is that men, y'all need to wake up and understand that the core within yourself is key to succeed, not what you have on paper. What you have on paper helps you afterwards once you get the respect. Always get the respect first.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice, bro. Very
Thank
nicely
you.
put.
I hear you there. And one thing that people don't know about Ralph, and don't know the journey he's been on, which is why he is someone I respect tremendously and love as a personal friend. One of the things I love about Ralph is how hard he's worked to get where he is today. And sometimes I watch all of Ralph's videos and been supporting him for years. You don't understand what it took to build this man and the highs and the lows and the difficulties and the stresses and strains that it took to present now a guy who has core confidence, who is unshakable, who's a fucking immovable object. It's because of what he did in life, yeah, to achieve what he's achieved. So to kind of get into this aspect of core masculinity and what it really takes to be a man in your peak potential, Ralph, you've made astronomical sums of money and you've also went through the pain of loss, right? Um, and you're open and transparent that you've had to work your tail off to get to where you are today and earned it the right way, right? And it was a long, hard journey. And
Yeah.
you're gracious enough to share all your wisdom, with people like me, which I'm always very thankful for, and all your viewers. So, in the times where you've had W's and then also taken L's, right? How did your self-worth take a hit? And what was it about those moments where you went through challenge that's taught you how men should define themselves?
Yeah, listen, I don't post my losses on social media. That's the
Mm,
funny thing about it, as with everyone else.
mm,
My social media is, wow, this guy's traveling the world. Wow, this guy's got a six pack. Wow, this guy's here and everywhere. What an amazing life. You don't see the fucking scars and the stripes that I had to earn in order to
exactly.
get to this position. Yeah, there was a lot of pain and losses, and I still wake up every day. I remember I woke up in this girl's bed 2 days ago. Some hope she's not gonna. Well, hopefully she doesn't have access to my YouTube account. I think I need to. I think I need to change the name of my YouTube
You're a
account. It
good
cannot
looking
be.
guy, man. It might
It
happen. It might happen. I'll
it
look you up.
can't be real Ralph Anthony. I got to change that shit because the girls I'm seeing are gonna type that in and be like, "You talking about me on your YouTube channel about waking up in my bed?" Anyway, so I woke up in this girl's bed and she was like, "What's wrong with you? Are you okay?" The first thing is she looked at my face. She was like, "Are you okay?"
Mm,
And I was like, "Yeah, I just feel like something's missing." She's like, "What do you
mm,
mean something's missing? You have like everything should be fine." I was like, "You know what? I don't know. There's a void in my heart, and so I need to get back out there and push harder." And she was bemused, but you know what? She also found that super fucking sexy. She found it extremely sexy because she was just like, "Shit, this guy." She knows that I'm a G. She already knows that. She's seen me. She's seen the way I operate. She's seen how I move. She's seen my friends. She seemed in 4 days she learned everything she needed to learn. But then she realized that this man still has a void in his heart, still is in pain of some sort, and still is out there to get some sort of vendetta or vengeance. So he needs to work harder. So I left her house. I was like, I need to go. I need to go and get my shit together. And I think that's super sexy. I think that, and unfortunately, I don't want to have to mention his name, but Tate did bring this to the table, and Tate did say that your pain and your suffering will define you as a man.
mm,
So the stripes and the scars and the more swipes you can take and keep coming back to the game, the the better you become as a man. You just become a fucking monster. You're back at the gym again. You're trying again. You failed and you're trying again. I think there's such a glamour of a man who has come from the hood, come from a difficult background. That's why I moved to America a few years ago because they do believe in that American dream of coming from nothing and being a somebody. In London, that's a little bit more difficult. In London, we have a class system, right? So you're judged immediately about how you speak. In America, that's a little bit different. So you can actually make it from scratch. And I love that American dream. But I would say that most men need to realize that it's fine if your life is difficult right now. It's fine if you're struggling. It's like most people are struggling. Um, Most of my viewers are directionless, even the ones with money. Coach D, you mentioned it, like even the boys with money. I had the last few consultancy calls I've done were guys with serious amounts of money that were just like, I'm not sure why I feel unsatisfied. There's this massive void in so many men's lives right now. So really my calling is to the I've always been a fan of the underdog. I've always supported the team that wasn't the favorite to win. And here I'm supporting the guy who's the underdog, who's not the favorite. I party in the best places in the world. When I'm in Dubai and Saint-Tropez, I'm not supporting that dickhead on the table that's already made his money, that's 24, or that's inherited a bunch of money from daddy who's drinking champagne. I just talk to that guy because it's a networking business thing. Really, I'd rather talk to the kid who's, at the local shitty bar in Saint-Tropez trying to make it because he's ambitious. Those are the people I'm trying to speak to, the ones that are actually trying to get there. I'm not speaking to the whole world here because a lot of men are just like, oh, what's this bullshit? What's this guy talking about? Oh, whatever. He just got lucky in business. I'm not interested in those guys. I don't need the negativity. Um, but again, I think, what's defined me is just standing back up again. I told Ravi my story today of my crypto. I had a crypto portfolio which was separate to my finances, and I made millions and lost millions. And, I woke up this morning, I was like, why the fuck am I not worth 5 times more the money I'm supposed to be worth? So you'll always have this void. You'll always have some sort of deficiency because you're only human. And if you're ambitious like I am, you will not stop. And even if I get to fucking 20, 30, 50 M and I've got the hottest wife and a badass car and 5 apartments, I'm going to wake up at 52 with some sort of void because it's God telling me your work is not done yet. You must continue. There's more for you to do. So I've now realized that I'm always going to have this. So as long as the guys listening to this realize that they will always have this, let's not call it a void because that's not a nice word to use in spirituality. We're supposed to be fulfilled and whole, and I do that through my religion. I serve Christ now, but let's use the word. Uh, there's like it's like a gap that you're trying to consistently fill, or an ambition, or you're never completely complete. Ambitious men always are trying the next thing. And so at least when I wake up tomorrow morning and a guy who is on an average salary wakes up tomorrow morning, we're on a level playing field. We're both trying to get there. So it's not like I'm better than you. I'm not out here trying to tell people I'm better than them. I'm not trying to be that Andrew Tate, fuck you, I'm rich, you're poor, you're a brokey, buy my course. I'm like, bro, it's all good. We're all in this together. And my losses and my pain and my scars doesn't have to be at your expense. Um, so that's why I'm doing this. I'm literally
Mm.
genuinely trying to help people.
For real. And that
So,
energy is something that is felt and is embodied in your movements and is personally something that I've felt in the many years that I've known you. I'm an underdog myself. Coach D is an underdog. And we both consistently achieved and we both consistently done things we thought were literally impossible. Gone in places, got mentors, got access that, frankly speaking, were like dream opportunities,
Hmm.
that inspired me. Like Vin even inspired me to start a business. He's my business partner now. Like Coach D inspired me, right? He's my business partner too. You can do anything in this life. If you're driven, hardworking, if you got fucking heart and soul, you really, really cannot be stopped if you're just going to keep getting up each and every time. Now,
Yeah.
both of you have risen to the peak of your potential and continuously drive yourselves forward. And both of you have even had realizations during that time about deeper satisfaction and fulfillment. What I want to draw out here is just tease out some of the moments of insight that you guys have had in your journey. So the moments where you realize, I'm up, I've done some shit, but is this really actually going to make me happy? So, Coach, I want to ask you, When you
Mm.
hit the peak of your success, and for many years have now had a reputation of one of the best in the world at mentoring men and guiding them in their development. When you're at the peak of your success, did you truly feel fulfilled when you are out there rampaging in New York? Or even then, did you feel there was something missing?
Yeah, just as Ralph said, I had a lack of fulfillment and emptiness. So I was like, okay. So like I had a big notch count, I slept all the attractive women I ever wanted to do. I tasted the rainbow, all that. But then I told myself like, I'm toxic. I'm hateful. I'm like red pill. I'm like too like I despise women.
Hmm.
Because like you see so much. You see so much that I forgot to see like the good in them.
Mm,
I know, bro.
mhm,
So it's the same thing like so I'll explain my version and my client's version. For me is like I done it all. So I was like, what is the next chapter in my life? So the next chapter in my life was like to find peace.
Hmm.
And that is the
mm,
thing. God put us on this earth to procreate and to find peace and to find a partner and companion. This is why I try to teach healthy masculinity. And I try to tell all men, you must go through your journey, associate with women, develop your social skills, have some fun, but don't get lost in that journey. Because sooner or later, it's going to become an endless, vicious cycle, a loop. So, lack of fulfillment, big void. So I needed to understand that within myself that I was starting to develop this hate, this darkness. And I was like, all
mm,
right, what is the next coaching session, the next guy? But in my mind, it was like lost. It was distracted. I'm like, what am I missing? And then I realized I returned it back to religion and I found spirituality and I was able to find a partner who accepted, who I am, where I came from, my religious background, and also what I do in order to help men. Because she also understands too that a lot of men go through toxicity because it's like once you sleep with a woman, you get a vendetta. The reason why you get a vendetta is because that your entire life are being rejected for whatever reason. What is it? Racism, you being broke, you being short, not being decent looking. And no, and then once you start to gain that little bit of power, it turns into manipulation. So let's speak the truth. And that's why I try to stay away from all this like pickup stuff because it becomes
mm.
really toxic. And then once you develop that, like, oh, I'm gonna manipulate every single woman to get into bed, then you become like a really dark, twisted person. So what I try to teach guys is that once you are a masculine man, you think healthy, you have purpose, you want to take care of your family, you want to settle
Mhm.
down, you become a true person because number one, you have God on your side, your soul is cleansed. Because I had a lot of guys that will come to me and literally say, I hate women. Two things, either I hate women or women don't like me. And or they'll be depressed and suicidal. And these are good-looking dudes who make money, and even the average guy too. It's everybody from all sidewalks of life. I welcome everybody. I even had to deny people that wanted to pay me double or triple my rate for like a boot camp or coaching call because I do not take ego. I will shut it down right away. I care about helping you as a person. I don't care about you trying to show off. Because Ravi Sina, I've cut rich people off many times,
Oh yeah, kick
and
them out
I've
of the
cut,
program with
and
them.
yeah, I just don't want that. I don't want that. I'm here to cleanse your soul to make you into a positive masculine man. And it's the same thing with these men. They lack fulfillment because then they're saying like, well, I got in a couple closes, but you see, it's the reverse between me and them. They're like, I got a couple of closes, but I never got what I want. The
Hmm.
high quality, the relationships, because I was too busy being a wuss or a bitch of a man using my looks, status, money, and height. And then they'll come to me being negative, saying, oh, I get used, I get abused. I'm saying because you're not having the essence of your core. Meanwhile, the other clients who are like, Ravi, Ralph, and myself, we're going out there, we're doing it, but then we also have an emptiness because we lived it all. But then we need a fulfillment,
Mhm.
peace,
Mhm.
solitude, a sanctuary because it becomes a endless cycle of like you literally become like a conqueror. You become Genghis Khan. Just
Yeah.
it's like what is the next thing to conquer? And I'm very motivated. Like, I'm a good spot in my life. I have a career job. I met wonderful people. I make decent money, but I always want to strive as a man. One thing is the gift that men have is your ability to climb a mountain. And the minute you lose as a man is when you become comfortable within any time in your life.
Hmm.
So I believe that as a man, you must die fighting and die pursuing your dreams no matter what.
Nice.
Even right now in my life, I still want to make more money, get in better shape. I want to buy a house for my family and say like, hey, I've been there for you. So to summarize it, that's basically how I feel that within me and myself, there was a lack of peace. And now I found that peace.
Mm.
And within my clients, there's resentment and hate because they were also the dream or they watch a lot of like, manipulative pickup shit. And then they enter this dark thing like, I'm gonna make them respect me. I'm gonna get revenge and
Yeah.
I'm gonna get them to bed. And when you sleep with me, I'm the king. And I'm just like, oh my God, dude,
Mm.
you gotta heal. That's why I'm saying like we live in such a dark time where there's so many broken men
Mm.
that
Oh yeah.
need to be healed and need to have a voice. The reason why we don't have a voice is because mental health for men is shamed upon. Take it like a man. Take it on your chin. All right,
Mm.
son? Take that punch. Don't cry. And then you have guys who are becoming suicidal, who are becoming crazy because there's no safe group for us to talk. Meanwhile, there's a saying that, when a man cries, the whole world turns his back on him.
Mm.
When a woman cries, the whole world, are you okay? Can I help
Mm-hmm.
you? It's because
Mm-hmm.
like we just been shamed to hide in a corner becoming such a
Yeah.
bitch.
Yeah.
So I feel like we need to rise up, let our voice be heard, become respected, and reclaim our glory like back in the old days of like, the 1800s, the 1900s, the 1950s where we were men, women were women. There was respect and unity between us too.
Mm.
Beautiful. This is
Thank
everything you say is the reason why I do this stuff, man. I mean, that was powerful stuff. And I think if you look at the influencers who have risen up over the past few years, again, I mentioned him because he was the most famous guy on the planet last year, but Tate came at it from a very aggressive angle and became so fucking super famous, which fair play to him. But that angle was just overly aggressive. It was like, you need to get rich. That's why you're a pussy. You're a pussy because you're not rich. And it's like, okay, but
Yeah.
once they get to that point, they also have to realize that that's not the answer. Because again, like you've seen it, you lived in New York, and I think you have to live in these places to understand that. I've been traveling the world for 10 years because I was lucky enough to do so. Because I made my first meal when I was 27. But I moved to Miami 2 years ago, but I've been going to Miami for the last 8 years because I've just loved it. It was like so different to my home. It was like sunny and beautiful and all these hot girls. And the men in Miami have a shit ton of money. But these mofos are so lost. Oh
Hmm.
my goodness. I have never
Broken.
seen more broken, lost motherfuckers in my entire life. And at that point, I realized, aha, so the money and the status is not the answer.
Mm.
Okay, fine. I need to start doing my shit. I need to start putting my message out to the world. Because I didn't want the world to be like, yeah, but bro, just make the money. And then actors, if you're famous, you've got it sorted anyway. It's all good. I'm like, hold on a second. The problem lies within the very, very top and the bottom. And once you know that, it gives you more purpose because it makes you realize, okay, this isn't just about like how much money you make, because that's really how people are externally validated in today's world. Oh, what status do you have? How much money do you have? And that's what Tate really tried to push down people's throats. But I think people like you and I now, Coach D and Ravi as well, comes at this from a new angle, a bit more of a
Mm.
sympathetic angle. I have a lot of empathy in my heart. I come from, my mother's one of the most empathetic, high EQ people I know, and I've got that beautiful trait from her. And so I can't tell a guy that he's a broke fucking loser. Good luck, because when I go back home that night, it's running through my mind and my heart that I hurt another human being. And the only reason that started happening to me, and it's interesting that Coach D mentioned this, is when he turned to his religion and that started to make him feel more fulfilled. All of a sudden, I started massively changing
Mm.
when I got closer to God. Funny enough, it happened when I moved to Miami, which is the last place on the planet.
Oh yeah, that's crazy. Miami's like a what?
Wow. They
I
say
can't
that's
believe that.
godless, but Ralph over here finding the Lord.
You know what I
He's
mean? It was literally like that. Yeah. Sorry, go on, D. What were you gonna say?
No, I was saying like that's crazy. Like Miami, out of all places, God is like, yo, man, I need to talk to your ass, Ralph. You got a bigger mission out there to do.
That's exactly what went down, bro. I was in Miami partying like a mofo, and I learned how to DJ 3, 4 years ago when I went to Tulum during COVID, and I was DJing on this yacht, on top of this yacht, and there was like 50 girls in bikinis. And then like it was the day that I woke up after that party. Obviously, I got laid that night because I was the DJ on the boat. My top was off. I was giving it large, blah blah blah, the British accent, whatever. Anyway, I woke up the next day. I was like, oh shit. Like, nah, this is the hedonistic trap. I'm completely
Mm,
trapped in the wheel and I'm trapped and I'm becoming one of these Miami people that I would see and one of these Miami people that I would be laughing at and thinking these people are so lost. Guess what? I'm the one who's lost now.
mm,
So it was a long process. I met a certain person who brought me closer to religion and I saw him I saw him literally exercise people, which was the weirdest shit. I don't want to talk about no I don't want to talk about The Exorcist right now, but I saw some shit in Miami from a particular person. I call him King David. He was literally sent to me by God to teach me many lessons and to bring me back into my religion. And once I went back into Christianity and prayer, and it was more so that I was feeling the Holy Spirit literally come
mm,
into my body and leaving me. Once I felt the Spirit inside of me, then I was like, oh shit, I have a much bigger purpose and a much bigger mission. And all of a sudden, I started finding, and the word you used was peace.
mm,
Once I started finding inner peace, my whole world changed. I felt so much better. And I was like, okay, calm down. You can build something which isn't all about the money now. You don't have to be the biggest hedge fund manager in the world. You don't have to be the biggest investment fund. You don't have to manage billions of dollars and make serious amounts of money and buy more cars. You don't have to compete with everyone in Miami. You don't need the $100 million villa. You actually have a different purpose and a different path. And once I found spirituality, I calmed down a lot, man. It sounds like you and I went on the same journey where we went on a fucking rampage and then you find God and you don't just say that because I wouldn't just say that if I wouldn't lie and deceive people and say I found God because I know that karma will come back and bite me and some
Hmm.
bad shit would happen to me because I was saying that. I really truly believe in that now. But once you do find it, you start moving a bit different. You move more empathetically, you move calmer. You're still a human being, right? You still suffer, obviously. I'm not saying again, I'm not Sadhguru or Naval Ravikant. I'm not walking around like a Buddhist monk all day, like I'm in Zen mode, no one can touch me. I'm only human. I get hurt. I get upset. I get pissed off. I lose money. I get vexed. But it's just when you have good foundations and a base to come back to, it's like, okay, I will fall to my knees and I will pray to the only person that I'll get, the only person I will bow to is the Lord, is God. And once I get on my knees and I say my prayers, I know that like I'm nothing at that point, and I can start fresh. I know that that was a bit heavy, but I think there's a lot of things that Coach D and I agree on, and it was that eventually you have to find spirituality. I just want to finish it off actually with this one note. You know, the guys that I know that are getting laid the most right now, these mofos are some godless guys. They're not bad people, right? Couple of guys I know, one of them in Miami, one of them in Dubai. Funnily, they're going to be in those cities, aren't they? They're not that good looking as guys, but they've got a bit of riz, they've got a bit of game, and they are relentless with their approach. Relentless. And I think to myself, brother, what void are you trying to fill? How
mm,
fucked up are you?
mm,
And you're sleeping with these girls, and I just know when I have these conversations, I'm like, this guy's empty as hell, bro. This
mm,
guy's
Hmm.
so empty. He's got no God within him. He doesn't give a shit about these girls, and it's about Genghis Khan, as you said. It's about conquering, they're fucking. Then it's the next one. I'm like, and then they're telling me these stories. I'm like, oh yeah, that's cool. I'm like, bro, doesn't it feel a little bit empty at some point? Is this really your path? Do you really think that's the way forward for you? And the only other person I can relate to, and the person that I respect massively, is Russell Brand. Russell Brand slept with 1,000 plus women and now he's some Bible basher who's religious, and I love the fact he's still super famous, but he literally turned to God and he got away from all that fucking madness, and he seems much more peaceful now. And he literally says that back in the day he was doing all these drugs, he was in Hollywood, he was getting fucked up, he was having threesomes, he was banging all these girls, which by the way sounds like a lot of fun. Let's not get it twisted.
mm.
That does sound like a hell of a lot of fun for a time period in your life. But to maintain that, you just realize you're an empty fucker, and that's not really the true essence of masculinity, as you said at the beginning of
Mm.
this call. Masculinity is not about conquering everyone and fucking everything and banging hot models. That's not what masculinity is about. We represent something else here.
For sure. Masculinity is a journey of self-actualization to becoming your human potential. So as you die your dying breath, you know you had a life lived in integrity and that was in service of you, your family, your community, and made a contribution that will go beyond you. What people really remember about you as a human being isn't your notch count or your conquests,
Hmm.
but how you made them feel in your presence, how you supported them, the emotions that you brought to their life, how you were a friend, a brother, a professional. And as we go about this journey, healthy, aligned, we want to touch each other to be better as men. And when we go through this journey and have our stages in it, most of us awaken to the massive potential that is unlocked when we are in healthy, happy relationships with women who we respect as partners, who can nurture our greatness, who can support our mission, and who we can also give our masculine essence to is a very symbiotic thing. But to even have that mentality and to be able to go that deep with another human being, that is the nature of the masculine journey, to where we stop attracting broken, heal ourselves, and go out into the world with positive intention. Relationships are reflective, right? When we are empty inside, we will attract empty experiences, uh, flings, and casual, and all that sort of thing. That doesn't really lead to any deeper satisfaction within us and just blurs into nothingness as the years go by. Or we can do the deeper work to heal ourselves from within and to live a life of purpose and attract the kind of women who really help us unlock our deeper potential as we help them. And this should be the framing of the masculine journey. Now, to bridge to my next question, which is going to be my last, we heard a lot about your journey, guys, and the insights as you guys have actualized yourself way, way more and now are where you are in the masculine journey, where you're really thinking about impact, personal greatness, legacy, how you want to be remembered. Beautiful, beautiful, right? So men need to understand the how now, right? How do they stop chasing external, superficial, casual? How do they actually start to build an engaged, fulfilled, rewarding life? Because it's one thing to say to them, stop chasing external things, guys, when we're living in a very superficial culture right now. And we talked about social media already. But when a man is in that mindset, it's hard for them to just switch it off. So, how do we actually rewire that to focus on internal fulfillment? Coach D, you do a lot of this work with men. In fact, you're the one that got me out of a lot of that nonsense and helped me finally like feel love for women and have the deeper relationships. You once told me, not too long ago actually, when I was with you in New York actually, you told me take a year off, and you said don't date again until you fully love yourself and your life. So,
Mm.
what did you mean by that, Coach? And how can men apply what you told me to apply?
Okay, so I gotta give a lot of love and support for Rav. I knew this guy for a while and I wasn't ready to even work with him. He asked me multiple times, can we be business partners? And I said no because he was still going through his conquest toxic phase.
Hmm.
And I could see the hate and pain in him. And I said, you're not ready yet, dude. You're not at peace or you're not at acceptance with how the world is.
Hmm.
So the reason why I wanted him to take a year off because he was basically like he was like, "Oh shit, I finally learned legendary masculinity from Uncle D. Now I can get my revenge. Now I can get my closes." And I just saw this guy like speak different, act different. You become sort of a bully when you get this power because it's like I said, you go in a sign of like conquest and vengeance and in return he started to become more depressed, even like
Mm.
kind of like borderline suicidal. I was one time at my
Jeez.
point in my life too when I was like hateful. And I told him, like, dude, you need to understand that don't get trapped in the validation of conquest saying, yeah, bro, it's another one of my notch. Look at me, look what I have, look at the boat, look at the parties, look at the models, look at the money I'm making, because then you become an empty shell seeking
Hmm.
validation instead of like internal peace.
Hmm.
So I told him, like, go back to whatever religion. He went back to the Buddhist temple, he started to pray more, and we did more healthy men's work of masculinity, which
Nice.
I run like an inner game program for Core Masculinity University, aka CMU, for men to have a safe space to talk. And a lot of these men are wounded and damaged because we
Oh
are
yeah.
afraid to speak up. This is what I was saying earlier during our segment. We don't want to be shamed upon. You know, you're a weak bitch. Hold it inside. But guess what happened? You hold it inside, that mofo's gonna become a school shooter. Or he's gonna become a gangbanger from just so much hate and resentment. You know,
Yeah.
we need to let it out. And after I saw that, he started to change. He's like, okay, I'm gonna be a masculine man on my purpose. I want to help take care of my family. I'm gonna find God, and eventually I want to settle down. And this is what I'm trying to show men. Welcoming men from all walks of life and telling them that I don't care what you close, I don't care what you accomplish. With me, you're starting fresh. You're
Mhm.
coming into a sanctuary. You're coming into a Zen, peaceful state. I'm going to unlock your core as a man, but don't turn that power into chaos.
Nah.
A lot of men, once they taste, I admit it myself. Once I tasted a little bit of masculinity, boy, I was notorious.
Oh yeah.
And I swear to God, like God saved me from all the dumb shit I did in the past. I did a lot of dumb shit because I was one stupid idiot, which I regret. But now I'm in a better place now. So that's why I try to tell men that understand that during these experiences, you're going to build your core and your masculinity as a man, but at the same time, find peace, find purpose, find fulfillment, find recollection, and push away all that hate, push away all that toxicity. As my brother Mouth was making the comment about Andrew Tate, I liked him at first when I was doing my red pill hate phase. Yeah, man, F all these women. Yeah, I don't give a damn, man. I'm a boss.
Mhm.
Dude, that increased my hate. I would literally watch him to become more hateful and more angry because I thought it was like, this is the right thing to do.
Mhm.
And it made me toxic. It's like he's teaching like a form of masculinity, but it's like the worst one. It's the stuff that can get you like canceled, which is why he's going through all the stuff that he's going through right now.
Yeah.
I actually looked up to Russell Brad because I know him. I would watch him too. This guy was like the player of all players.
Mhm.
Super smart, super charming, super seductive. And then he realized like I'm living an empty life. And then
Mhm.
he found a life the way through God and he's finding peace. One of my examples that he's an old school guy. His name is Paul Junka.
Legend.
I learned about him when I was a fob because I was like, who's this guy that's good looking and that will talk about masculinity? I was like, nobody
Mhm.
talks about this. And this the guy said the same thing. He's like, I became a robot. It became such a system that everything was just automatic. Hey, hello, pull the clothes. Hey, hi, how are you? Clothes. And you know,
Mhm.
he just became empty and soulless. And this guy literally got out the game and became married. And then he's trying to help men to develop themselves. So that's why I'm trying to say to all the men out there, we understand that you're suffering. Don't be afraid. Reach out to me. Reach out to Ravi. Reach out to Ralph. We're here to help you. We're not here to shun you. We're here to awaken your masculinity. We're here to help you find a purpose. We're here to reclaim your glory and find God. But let me say something. Don't be tempted by temptations. We get it that in the path that within your new power as a man, you're going to have leadership. You're going to have
Mhm.
skills because you're going to be able to walk away and do what you want to do. But with that power comes great responsibility because with that power, you can now manipulate, you can now control. And it's up to you to do what you want to do with that power. Are you going to become a tyrant or are you going to become a leader? I was a tyrant. Now I'm a leader. Ravi was, hateful. He was starting to become a tyrant. Now he's becoming a leader. Ralph was the same thing, was a player, was a tyrant, and now look at him, peaceful, successful entrepreneur guy who's a leader who's helping men. If you are a man that can lead, you are truly a winner in my eyes. That's all I care about. Can you lead others? Are you a good person? I don't care about your notch count. I don't care about how much money you make. I care about what is the impact you can do on this world to make it for the better because I believe we are truly at lost right now between men and women. That's why I wish we can build a time machine, but a time machine doesn't exist. And it's my mission, and as I can see with Ravi and Ralph's mission today too, to help heal as many men as possible to reclaim their masculinity, to live a proper path of success and leadership.
Beautiful, brother. That's powerful.
Very
I
nice.
appreciate it. And my last question's to Ralph, right? Ralph, what's one habit that men can start today to start to build true fulfillment from the inside?
I would say I've noticed with a couple of friends of mine recently that I've been out with, they're not having a good time when they're around in these social environments. And I realize that it's not about their fulfillment, it's about their self-esteem. When you got high
Mm.
self-esteem, you can be more fulfilled because you're happy with who you are. And I think, Coach D mentioned that and telling you to get out the game until you love yourself. Right? If you're not loving how you look and how you feel in the morning, the rest of the day is going to be shit. Forget that. Like the first thing you want to do is when you walk up to the mirror and be like, okay, I look good. Like, okay, all right, cool, nice. You've set the tone for the rest of the day. So how you can be more fulfilled, I can answer that. It'd take me an hour to answer it, but I just want to start with the most important aspect, which is your self-esteem, which reverse engineering that is how you look in the mirror and how you kind of feel about yourself, because ultimately you care about how you look and you should care about how you look as a man, right? You're not going to be, um, again, a Buddhist monk who just doesn't care how he looks because you're in society, you're in the matrix, you exist, you're walking around New York, you're walking around Soho, you're walking around Bucharest, you're part of us. So you do care about how you look, and don't tell me that you don't. Any man that tells me he doesn't care how he looks is obviously not going to live the best quality of life. So the first thing, there are two things you need to be focusing on. One is your body shape. And I've been working out since I was 16 years old. You know, I've always had a good body. I'm not going to sit here and lie and tell you I was a fat kid and I lost all that weight. No, from early days, I was working out at 15, 16 years old, and I've kept that consistent up till now, up to 37. So I've always been in good shape, and that's always helped me attract women and attract people. And the second thing is having a sense of style, right? Once you've got your own cool, unique style, you don't have to dress a certain way. You don't have to dress like Justin Waller and fucking Tristan Tate in a three-piece suit. Like, you don't need to copy others. Have your own cool, unique, authentic style about you. You could even be a cool emo rocker dude with a cool ass haircut, but just with with your badass little skateboard. I don't care what it is, as long as you're authentic and stylish and you care about your body, you're working on your body, and you have the golden ratio to a degree, you know, where your shoulders are 1.6 times your waist, not the other way around, right? If like, I mean, over here in Eastern Europe, in Romania, most men have the opposite to a golden ratio. They've got, it's this, the thin shoulders and a big belly. They don't give a fuck. They're drinking beer and they're like, whatever. They don't need to look good. And
Yeah,
they're not, bless them, they're not as advanced with their thinking.
yeah.
But they're getting there. No offense to them.
Mm,
They're still lovely people. But
mm.
if you need to have that golden ratio, you need to look like a man, right? You need to look like Michelangelo from that famous painting. And then secondly, once you have that, in line with that, you want to have your own cool style. Wear a t-shirt that fits you quite nicely. Wear some nice jeans. Doesn't have to be expensive at all. Just like relatively clothes that are cheap but just fit you well and that show your body. Once you have that and you've had a nice haircut and you've fixed it up a little bit and you groomed your beard, and these are things that Ravi's been through, and I saw him, I watched his transition. You see Ravi's before and after pics, and it's fucking hilarious how Ravi looked before and how he fixed himself up and how he looks now. And that's for me where it starts, right? If chapter one of this answer is that, it's brother, I need to work on your self-esteem. I've got a couple of friends here that don't want to go out with me this weekend because they know they're gonna have to stand there and watch me pick up these girls, and they're not gonna get a piece of the pie because their self-esteem is low
Mm,
and they're not feeling it, and they don't want to go out and put themselves out to the world
yeah.
because they haven't been working on themselves. So that's what I would recommend people to do. Forget the gym. Just do 100 press ups a day, 50 to 100 press ups a day. You don't have to do them. Obviously, I'm not saying in a row. Do 10 press ups. Do that 10 sets. Do that for 4 weeks, and look how your body changes. Suddenly your back gets bigger. Suddenly you grow out. Suddenly you start looking like a man, which makes you feel like a man. And then when you dress like a man, or dress however you want to dress, really, I mean, I would recommend dressing in a certain style. I've always been about dressing like a smart guy. Wear a nice shirt, open your chest so people can see the top of your chest. It's crafted. Wear some nice jeans. Wear some cool shoes. Don't wear fucking shitty sneakers and trainers with all these stupid colors. I don't give a shit if it's tagged and it's limited edition Pippin. I do believe in dressing a little bit more traditionally, but I allow people to have their own style. Once you have that, you raise your self-esteem, you feel better about yourself, and then we can talk about everything else. So
That's what.
start with the basics, and then we can get to all the other shit, which is making money, investing, charisma, spirituality, confidence, how you speak to the girl. It's a long book, and I don't want to complicate people. I want them to get the first part of it, which is your self-esteem.
Powerful, beautiful wisdom. The first thing we have to value is ourselves. And that is something that is within our control, no matter where we are, who we are, and we deserve it too. So, to close, then, gentlemen, we're in a world where men are constantly told that they need to be richer, they need to be more muscular, they need to be, quote unquote, more successful, always chasing, never arriving. So, the truth is that it starts with self love. and your concept of how you see yourself and recognizing that you have value. And success will never fill the void until you get into the nitty-gritty and change your internal frame of how you view yourself. And only you can do that. Today, Coach D and Ralph both dropped some incredibly powerful insights from men who've truly been there. These are some of my my favorite people, right, to listen to, who I can tell are absolutely certified. I live with both of these men, right? And I tell you, I've been out with both of these men. Yeah, trust me. Yeah, trust me. We got it down over here. So the conversation doesn't stop here, of course. If you're a man who's ready to stop chasing and start building a real fulfilling life, you need to talk to Ralph Anthony. You need to talk to Coach D, and we're here to further support men and build a real community and a real brotherhood that's not here to sell dreams, but real practical advice to give them the tools they need to build real inner strength, real fulfillment, so they can go out and find what truly it is that they seek in this life. Thank you both for your time, brothers. Much love to both of you. D, Ralph, and I hope it's the first of many.
Thanks,
Peace
bro.
out.